Hey guys, Mike here. So another loaded video for you, and we're going to go into a bunch of different stuff. A couple interviews from Cam Carson, which he gave out some really good information. He's the volatility, basically manager, stuff like that, or expert at volatility for sure. And so I'm going to let you hear that because it's extremely important. Because you might notice something that happened at 1 o'clock today, which I guess I'll have to start watching that too. I never thought I would say that, but I will. Plus a couple of, one chart pattern that is really showing up on some mega cap stocks here, okay? And so I'm going to show you that as well. Plus, tomorrow, I'm just going to say ahead of time, I'm going to have just an abundance of data for you, and some of it makes me really nervous. Like, this is what makes me nervous if you want to know, and I'll show you that tomorrow. But I will say, you know, just got words, I'm recording this, I just saw it pop on my phone, that Charlie Munger, who is Warren Buffett's right-hand man, passed away, I guess about 10 minutes ago. And so he was 99, accomplished a lot of stuff. My hat's off to him, you know, him and Warren Buffett, what they've accomplished and stuff. And I'll say this, man, I'm one of those firm believers, and I just want to get your quick input if you'll allow me. You know, I have no desire to live to be in my late 90s. I do believe when it's your time to go, it's your time to go. So if it's your destiny to live to be that old, it's just going to happen, okay? But if I do get to 99, I can tell you right now, I was just having this conversation the other day with somebody. I don't know why we were talking about it. And it was like, if I do get to 99, I am going to make a concerted effort to get to 100, dang it. I want to see the triple digits. If I'm going to get to 99, again, no desire to be in my late 90s. If people ask me why, it's just because I had a bunch of great uncles, 2 or 3 of them, that lived over 100, right? And I talked to them, was close to them, took their advice. And the reason why I don't want to be is very simple. I have no desire to outlive my spouse and especially my children. And if you live to be 100 or near it, a lot of times you have done that. They outlived together 5 wives and like 6 kids. I have no desire. Because remember, the life expectancy is about 76, 78. You get to 100. Most people have their kids in their 20s. You can do the math, okay? But I'm just curious, like, what do you think in the comments and stuff about that? Do you have any desire to live in the 90s? And if you get to 99, are you going to make the effort to go for 100? Like, I think I definitely will. So anyway, but I mean, congratulations to him for a long, obviously prosperous life. And so I think, is Warren 99 or 98? I can't remember. I don't know. Put in the comments. But anyway, more data about us. Okay, real quick here. Cyber Monday, not Friday. Cyber Monday rolls up another record, right? 12.4 billion, up about 10% year over year. And a lot of this had to do with the buy now, pay later. Is that what it's called? And which is why you see a firm up even more today, right? Because it's a buy now, pay later type of program. Real quick, speaking of Cyber Monday, as you see this, you have about 4 hours left to get the 70% off from TradeView. They rolled it from Friday to Monday. You'll save about $500 on the premium, about 143 on the plus right there. If you are a member or are going to become a member, make sure you watch Thursday's video I'm going to put out, because a lot of people are asking me how to set up TradeView and the basics. So I will go through that the best I can for you. Now, that leads me to what happened at 1 o'clock. Watch this quick interview. This is what happened if you didn't notice.
Obviously, you're discussing the VIX index. I'm on the CBOE floor. We'll get to that. But look at an intraday of 7. When a 7-year auction, as we discussed last hour, moves markets, you know you need to pay attention. And as you look, it wasn't only 7s. There's 2 7s, 10s. Everything on the curve moved. And if you look at the fact it doesn't change, that 7s, 10s, 20s, and 30s are still all going to close basically at the lowest yields since either the 2nd or the 3rd week in September.
And what he's talking about, and again, I never thought I had to watch a 7-year note auction or whatever it is, but you know, I guess I will. You can see yields drop right there, 1 o'clock, boom. There's a 10-year, here's your 30-year, and here is your 2-year, which, I mean, we've never talked about anything less than a 10-year bond or note auction before. And then you can see the Qs. What happens? When yields drop like that really fast, the Qs go up. They ended up green for the day. Now, that leads us to the interview with Cam Carson. He's asking, what's going on with the VIX? All right, it's in the toilet.
I'm talking to a guest about VIX being awfully low considering all the variables going on. Your thoughts on that?
It's not just macro that matters, the flows matter, right? And here we are at a seasonally bullish time. Why is it seasonally bullish? At the end of the year, when the market's up 20%, there's a ton of reinvestment of collateral coming in. Jan 1, there's a front running of flows of that. The biggest expirations in option land are also December, end of the year, and January in single stock. All of that skew as it decays through all of these holidays where nothing's going on is a buyback of delta. All those flows are just too much relative to everything else. That said, you have macro flows from bond yields, from treasury issuance that are going the other way. And this push and pull of macro and flows, what does that cause? Exactly what you're seeing today. Market's nowhere. And what does that mean to volatility? It's a sale.
And you can see, I showed you this chart right up here when we were up here right before the market started to run, right? And now we're down in the other shaded area. This is when we usually get a decline or a pullback in the market. It can be a small one. But again, this can still continue to drop. And there was like a spike up today, which it was up 2% today, but that was kind of crazy. But then it sold off rather fast. So we'll see. I mean, we're in that area. We normally get a pop. It could take a while to go all the way into January. It could just sit there and go sideways until January. And another chart to show you right here. You can see, betting on calm is what this one's labeled, but the expected 1 week S&P 500 volatility fell to the lowest level since November of 2021. But you're going to see a little volatility here and there, but I'm not seeing some major crazy spike which goes all the way to the other shaded area. And what I'm talking about is, I keep talking about the seasonality, right? Well, you can see, we get this run up right here. That's November, December, right? And all of a sudden you get a pullback. Usually you'll see weakness anywhere right at the end of November up to like December 12th. That window right there is where you can see it. I've even heard watch out for December 6th. Which maybe I'll do some more research and find out for you guys, and guys, before we continue, if you get anything out of this, please hit that thumbs up down there. I really appreciate it. And if you like the material here and the videos, think about subscribing. One thing you're seeing, and I will continue to watch this closely for us, is what we call smart money. They still believe in this rally, okay? And if you look at HYG, still going up, right? So they are saying, hey, this rally must still have some legs right here. Again, on the daily, you don't see any bearish RSI divergence. On the 4 hour, you could say for sure, yeah, you do. The 1 hour, you do as well. But again, they're still buying into this, and usually this will lead. So if you see this start to sell down, that might be an indicator. You go, okay, hold up a second, because it'll usually lead the SPY in which direction it's going to go, because that's what these people deal in, is risk all day long, right? Now, speaking of S&P 500, obviously we're still sitting at that trend line, just kind of right above and below it, just playing around with it, right? Consolidating right there, as you can see right there, sitting on that 45, 50 area right there. And the one area to watch, I'm going to put a trend line on this, is 4,600. See if that's in play, because if you get this pop, that literally is only about 1.15% away from where we're at right now. So it's not even that far. That would be a great rejection place if we get there in the next couple of days to just come down. And what it's trying to do is turn that 45.50 into support or that trend line, and then maybe bounce off that. Looking at the NASDAQ, you can see these weekly fair value gaps talked about probably 3 months ago. And so again, we pulled into the one down below right here. That was liquidity. I ended up moving that down. So it actually did mitigate half of that. And then you can see the one we're at now, right? We're right at it. We're literally sitting right on the edge of it, right? And you can pull up into that, which, the NASDAQ obviously is ahead of the S&P, right? It's already past July's highs. And the only thing to the left is all-time highs. That's just where it is. It's not even that far off all-time highs, like less than 4% or something. And so, again, and if you drew a trend line, a descending trend line, it's past that a while back. And so it's stronger than the S&P because of the Mag 7, because of semiconductors just absolutely rolling like crazy right now. But when you look at this, if you're looking at where you want it to go and stuff, what would be great is for this thing to pull back for, if it's going to start some weakness in the beginning of December, pull back, maybe mitigate that big gap right there, which if we look, I'm going to put a line right there because that's July's highs. That's where we're sitting right now, trying to turn to support. But if we look, if it broke that and come down here, you can see in that gap right there, if you look to the left right there in the beginning of August, there's an RTH gap as well. So there's two, right? There's your September high, right, which made good support. But right above that is an unmitigated RTH gap. So you can get half this RTH gap done, hit September for support, mitigate the rest of that RTH gap, and then bounce. That would be actually beautiful. You can see it better on the hour right there. You see it? So that would be perfect. And then start heading into your Christmas rally. Again, is that going to happen? That's what I'd like to see. But, I don't control the market. So Tesla. Now, this is a big one on Tesla. I want to tell you guys something. If you're trading Tesla or looking at Tesla, one of the things that works great is come in here if you're in TradeView, hit double, and then you'll see double top, double bottom show up as the patterns. Click on those because Tesla loves these things in the daytime. You can see them right here. Here's the last three that popped up. Bam, double top, hit the target perfect, double bottom, hit the target perfect. You come over to, I think this was the day actually, to the right there, another double bottom right there, hit the target perfectly. I even think the one right below it looks like a double bottom to me, but it didn't show up. So just a little tip right there as a side note. Now, what else we look for? Flows. Tesla call sweeps galore, millions of dollars flowing in today. That's why it had such a big day. That's what it always has. It's either news or the call sweeps, okay? But, when we look at the chart itself, these levels I told you about, these are not because I just, am crazy and want to put these levels out there. Tesla loves these levels, so do many other stock charts. I told you, if you find it in a wedge, that's the other thing that makes it move. Showed you 3 weeks in a row now, it starts wedging for an explosive move. I said it yesterday, I said it the last time, I said it the time before that. It explodes, right? You get this false breakout, boom, takes prior day's high, comes down, touches the bottom of that wedge, and absolutely ignites, right? Goes right through, back through the prior day's low, support, hits prior day's highs, gets rejected, comes down to support, and then takes off as the call sweeps just keep flowing in, goes past prior week's highs. Now, usually I'm not even looking at the market at this point in time. I'm too busy doing a members video or videos for you guys or something, or just something else, because I still have a business I have to run, right? But you look at this level and you go, why did it stop there all of a sudden? What happened? Well, if you go back, shocker here to the penny, what is that? That's not prior weeks. That's 2 weeks prior high, okay? So November 15th was Wednesday, and that was the prior high 2 weeks ago, and it stopped to the penny right there. And so, these levels do matter when it comes to Tesla and others, okay? And so just kind of keep that in mind if you're looking at Tesla, even for long term. I'm talking about not just short term, but for long term, right? Now, is it a coincidence that we're sitting here so close to that descending trend line that we've talked about for what seems like years now, but it's only been months? When you look at it, it's not even that far away. That trend line right there, not that far away. That's around that 250 area, depending on when it would hit it. And then we scroll back out, you see what I'm talking about. That goes back to July this year, right? And of course, what's coming up in 2 days? Is it Cybertruck? Yep, November 30th, Cybertruck, right? And so usually what happens? Tesla usually rallies into these events. It doesn't always happen, but it seems like it always happens, right? And then normally, I swear, it usually sells off after these events, like a lot of things do, buy the rumor, sell the news type of stuff. But if you get some crazy numbers coming out, right, it could just continue to go, right? Because you look at the seasonality of Tesla, like we talked about. There's your little dip coming down, and then December is choppy, but it's up. And so, again, put in the comments what you think is going to happen there. But, your guess is as good as mine when it comes to the Cybertruck stuff, because I don't know what the data is going to be. Now, NVIDIA, this is what I'm talking about. You're starting to see a lot of these double tops on these mega caps. Now, do I think it's going to play out? Absolutely not. What I'm looking at is it shows me any kind of pullback, which you're getting, right? And I said, that line right there, I put in there, a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I said, watch for it to test the October high. It's exactly what it's doing, down to the penny, and it's bouncing right now. Now, on a smaller time frame, this is a 1 hour time frame. This is a different double top, right? It's a smaller double top. And you look at that one, and you're like, okay, what's that bring us down to? Around 450. So we scroll out, well, what's 450? Would that be bringing us into some nice support, maybe some moving averages? And the answer is it's going to bring us into both. There's the 50, there's the 100, and there's your support. So that would be a nice little pullback. We start to come in a little weakness and see, I'm not guarantee a dip buyer is going to come in, of course, and buy this up. What do you see on Netflix? Same thing, a double top. Do I expect it to play out? Absolutely not. But we start to show weakness. Where would be a great place for this to be a dip buy? Right where that 150 are going to meet, right at that major trend line. It's been there for a long time, right? And then you go with Google, same thing, double top. It's hitting resistance on that trend line right there. Where would be a nice pullback? Probably around between 130, 131 maybe. That's where you're going to get your moving averages, nice support. And so just, it doesn't mean they got to play out, all right? So now when it comes to earnings tomorrow, a lot of retailers, Foot Locker, Dollar Tree, Petco, you're going to have Hormel, and then after hours, you'll get your high beta stuff with Snowflake, Salesforce, Okta, Pure Storage, which I messed up, by the way. It's actually a tech. I was thinking of public storage, so it's not a storage facility. We actually store physical goods, okay? So thank you for correcting me in the comments on that one. 5 and below, Victoria's Secrets, more retailers coming in, and a boatload of economic data. Going to have core PCE prices, corporate profits, GDP growth rate, quarter over quarter, expecting quite a big increase right there. GDP sales quarter over quarter, PCE prices quarter over quarter, real consumer spending, wholesale and retail inventories, a lot of oil data coming out. And I hope a 17-week bill auction doesn't move markets, but let's find out. And then you'll have the Fed beige book at 2 o'clock. And then the next day on Thursday, that's when you're going to get a lot more data coming out that will absolutely affect yields, which is going to affect the market and everything. So, we'll prepare for that as is. Let me know what you think in the comments about how those double tops, you think they're going to play out just a smidge, or do you think we're just going to keep rocking it up from here? And again, the data I'll show you tomorrow may skew your answer, change your answer, what you're going to give today, but I don't want to make this video 40 minutes long. So, you know me, but I'll really put that out there to you tomorrow. I think you'll enjoy it, and it'll be very insightful. Trust me on that, because it was for me when I discovered it. So anyway, hope you guys got some out of it. Hit that like and subscribe button. Really appreciate all you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.